The content of the video is suitable for a student taking Principle of Finance at Humboldt State University. In this video, I'm going to explain very briefly basic statistical tool used for analyzing individual stock. There are two kinds of tools people use. One is graphical tools, another one is statistical tool. Graphical tools means people use different graph and chart to figure out the pattern of price movement. When they figure out the pattern of price movement, they can project the future price movement, and based on their projection, people buy or sell stock. The other tools are statistical tools. There are different statistics used to analyze individual stocks. I just want to focus here on the basic tools suitable for introductory finance course, and they are arithmetic mean, geometric mean, standard deviation. And besides these three measures, there are other tools used in analyzing individual stocks. They are, as you can see here, the coefficient of variance, which is defined as the standard deviation over the mean return. So this measure is used to compare the riskiness of two stocks. Another measure is the Sharpe Ratio, which is defined as here, as you can see, mean return minus risk-free over standard deviation, and it measures the extra reward per unit of risk taken. So higher the value of Sharpe Ratio, meaning better the stock, and lower the value of Sharpe Ratio is not considered good stock. So another measure people usually use in analyzing individual stock is beta, and which is defined as the covariance between the individual stock return and the market return, and variance of the market. So the covariance between two stock measures how the individual stock moves with market return. Positive covariance means the market return and individual stock return move in the same direction. Negative means they move in the opposite direction. Usually S&P 500 is used as a proxy for the market return, and the value of the beta could be 1, which means the security is as risky as the market. If the beta is more than 1, then security is riskier than the market, and if the beta is less than 1, then this stock is considered as less risky than the average market. Now I want to show how to calculate all these measures in Excel. I have a file here explained in an earlier video, but I added here now S&P 500 index also. So in this file, I have in the first column date. Second, here I have the Verizon adjusted close price. This time I'm using adjusted close price rather than the close price, because usually when you want to do historical analysis, adjusted close price are used, and I have here adjusted close value of S&P 500. So as I explained, when you want to analyze individual stocks, starting point is always graphing. So you can graph the Verizon price against the date here. So you just select this two column here, and once you make that selection, all you have to do is go and insert that different kind of chart. But I want to use the line chart here, the two-dimensional line chart, so you can do different kind of IP here. Now this is how you chart here, see, and now you have the date on the y-axis and the value of the price on x-axis, and you can format this, make it look nicer, and by looking at this graph you can figure out what will be the possible movement in the future, and based on that movement people project or forecast and then make buy and sell order. Briefly, if you want to plot two series at a time, then you would select simply both series together and then go to insert and plot it. So once the graphical analysis is done, now people go and calculate return and then use that return for further analysis. So here, if you remember how to calculate simple return, I'm going to use simply here, like this is a Verizon simple return. That would be current price minus the previous price over the previous price. So once you calculate return for one period, you can just double click on the square box. It fills for all the period, and similarly you can calculate for the S&P 500. So current value minus the past value over the past value, and again you just have to double click here. So once you calculate, we use most of the time these two return series to analyze individual stocks. But here, since we also want to calculate a geometric mean, I want to create a new series by adding 1 to the simple return series so that I can use the Excel's geomean function. So what I want to do is here 1 plus this right here, and double click on it, will fill that right, and then again S&P 500 plus 1, and again you just double click it right here, and now you have all the simple written series and 1 plus the new 1 plus the simple written series, which are going to be used as to calculate geometric mean. So now let's go to the bottom of this file. This here, now I want to calculate arithmetic mean for Verizon, and this is very simple, as you have done using average function. You simply average here, and then you just select all the returns here, and that's it, right? So simple average. So you can drag this handle to the next cell to calculate average return for S&P 500. So here the average return for Verizon is 0.53% per month, whereas for S&P 500 is 0.32, meaning average return for Verizon is higher than average return per the market. Now if you want to calculate geometric mean, then you would simply use the geomean function, right? And the new series 1 plus that simple return series. And once you use that series and calculate geomean, minus 1, right? So simply close minus 1, that gives us the geometric mean. Let me just clear the format here just to make it look better. So here is your geometric mean, and if you want to calculate the geomean for S&P 500, then you simply again do the geomean and all your return right here. You could also copy and paste the formula, but I'm just repeating here so you just don't get confused. So right here you have a geometric mean, which is a very big number. So let's try it again to remove that here, and now this is geometric mean. So now this is how we calculate geometric mean and arithmetic mean. Now standard deviation, right? Higher the standard deviation means the stock is riskier compared to the stock with lower standard deviation. And for this one, Excel has a standard STDEV P and S function for population and the sample. I just want to select the sample, and now select all the return of the Verizon, and you get the okay. That's how you calculate standard deviation for Verizon. Similarly, you can calculate standard deviation for S&P 500. I will leave that to you. Now, we want to calculate Sharpe ratio and beta, but to calculate Sharpe ratio, if you remember the formula here, you need the risk-free rate right here, right? So we don't have the risk-free rate. I'm going to assume that the risk-free rate is 0.0025%. So let's assume that people use the 3-month treasury bill or return on the government bond as a risk-free rate, but I'm assuming it's 0.0025%. So Sharpe ratio is basically you would say that the mean return minus the risk-free rate over the standard deviation, and now you get it. So which is 8.47%. Now beta. If you look at the formula here, how do you calculate the beta? Beta basically calculated as the ratio of the covariance between individual return and market return over variance of the market return, right? So you simply do COV. If you write the covariance, it has a covariance for population sample. We're going to select sample, and now you would select the return series for Verizon. Then after return series for the market, you can select the return series for the market first, and then return series for Verizon, because the order doesn't matter. So that's the covariance. Now you want to calculate the variance. So here's the variance VAR sample, and now it's going to be variance of the market, right? So you simply select the variance of the market. So if you select it here, now if you see the formula, the covariance between individual return, market return over variance of the market return, and you get it right here. And the beta, I just want to maybe clear the format, and right now its beta is 0.7295, which is less than 1, which means Verizon is less risky than the average market. So this is how you calculate different statistical measure for analyzing individual stock. Please try to understand each of these, how to calculate. They are going to be used everywhere. Thank you for watching.